My dear friend, bienvenue, welcome, bienvenido to Houma-Thibodaux. This is just a conversation I'd like to have with you to let the people get to know who has arrived to be our new bishop. It's my joy to have made your friendship since the time the nuncio told me the great news that I was about to be relieved of duties and replaced by this wonderful man from Washington, D.C. But this wonderful man didn't come from Washington, D.C. He originally came from Colombia. Would you please tell us where you came from, who you are, what your family is, background is?
Thank you, my dear friend, Father PJ. It has been a blessing since I came to the diocese, getting to know you and get to experience your kindness and your fraternity. And by all means, that is in my heart, and I'm so grateful to you.
Thank you.
As we come together for this informal conversation, and of course, in every single human person, roots are so important. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I would say I was born in a Catholic family. My dad was French, and he was a civil engineer. Mom was devoted to raise the family. In this case, myself, because
You were the whole family.
No more around. But
So you were spoiled rotten.
yeah, absolutely. But when I was 12 years old, I used to go to a French school, and the priest director of the school called my dad, and he told him, "We think Mario should be a little more disciplined, but we're not going to be in charge of that." Of course, he was a little disappointed. He said, "Well, you come into the minor seminary with one condition. If you behave, you're going to be able to come to home every day, and it's a regular school for you. If you don't, then we put you there, and I'll see you every December." Therefore, that was kind of very bad news for me. And I remember that I walked to the minor seminary in Bogota on the hands of my parents. And right there was a picture of a youngster, a child, and said he was looking at the sky or at heaven, and there was a quotation mark, priest. I said, "Well, we'll see." And
It was a prompt with a question mark, a priest.
yes,
Right,
yeah.
right.
And my years began at the seminary when I was more or less 12 years old. And when I was 17, I was invited by the spiritual director of the seminary. At that time, we were like 130 seminarians.
Wow.
But he took around 25. And he invited us to go to the mountains in the Cordillera in Los Andes for a mission on occasion of the Holy Week. And at that time, I got the blessing to be a Eucharistic minister. And I remember when we just came to the small town, the first assignment I had the following day was to bring a communion to a very sick person in the middle of nowhere of the mountains.
Beautiful.
We left around 11. We arrived to her house around 4 p.m.
Wow.
Just walking through all these small paths, and I remember that she was pretty sick, but when she saw the seminarian, she was very happy and said, "Oh, thank you so much." But when we began to pray with her, and I show her the Blessed Sacrament. Her expression changed from happiness to a real joyful sense. Right there, I connected how important would be a priest as a mediator between man or humanity and God.
Beautiful.
Therefore, that was, I remember then when I came back from that wonderful mission, I went to see my spiritual director. I said, I want to be a priest. And he looked at me and said, yes, and what does God say about it?
Wow. That was some challenge.
Yes. So just go and continue to pray and we'll see. I applied when I was 18 to the mayor seminary, and I began my studies of philosophy right there, ordained a priest when I was 24.
And did it please your parents that you chose to enter the seminary after your dad's concern when you were 11?
My dad was kind of surprised because the way that I presented to him, I said, Dad, well, of course he wanted for me to be an engineer. And I said, I'm going to build bridges. And he told me, oh, you're great. He said, from here to heaven. He was quiet. He was quiet. Mom was quiet but prayerful.
Yeah.
And they were very respectful and very supportive, but in silence. Yeah. Because seems that not many people thought that I would be able to make it.
Which has surprised everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely.